Hello, hello. Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Hello, hello, hello. While I'm just now getting started, if you are a Patreon, write Patreon in the chat, please, so I can mod you before we get started. So if anybody is a Patreon, before we get started, just write Patreon beside your name so I can mod you. Please and thank you. A ton of people just coming in. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Um, I just wanted to mod my Patreons on this channel. So why is it not showing Mama Bear? Let me do this. Add moderator. Mama Bear, is it making you a moderator? Because I'm writing. Write something again, Mama Bear. Proud Army Mom, Patreon. Is it too loud? Is my mic too loud? Thank you, Regina. So if you are in the Patreon, please just write Patreon by your name. I know Amanda, 21 years. Okay. Thank you, Juju. Little Texas. Okay. Hello, hello. So I'm going to, I think, very true. Diamonds and pearls. Hey, Juju, are you a mod? Or, I mean, are you a Patreon? Hello, hello. I can be. I thought you were. Um, I was in third grade on 9/11. You're so right. Wow, third grade. Wow. And now people, in third grade are what? 30s. Mama's boss. So, all right. All right. So we're going to get started. Anybody who is a Patreon that hasn't started or hasn't wrote it yet, I will try to do it at the end of this. So before we get started, if we could just do a moment of silence for those that have lost their lives. And I think it's the correct thing to do. Let me do something here. All right, we're going to do a moment of silence. So thank you all for remembering those that lost their lives by just going to work, by helping others, firefighters, medics, just general human beings helping one another. And when the day happened, it was like something that we had never known in this country. We had never really known what really a lot of the other parts of the world see all the time because, we are kind of in our own part of the world and we don't really have to worry about the attacks like a lot of people do. I was in computer lab changing classes and we have to walk by the office and I just see my principal and all kinds of teachers just standing around a television and they're like you could tell something was wrong. And then I go to history and the television is already on and we just couldn't believe what was happening. And this was when the second tower was hit. We sat there all day watching this disaster, evil act of innocent people, watching their lives being extinguished one by one. And it is a day that none of us will ever forget. Um, I do want to show you guys some footage of that day so we can remember. I was on my way to a funeral, no plane in the sky. It was such a weird feeling. And I know on the East Coast, it was a beautiful fall day. It was, I mean, it just couldn't have been any more beautiful for something so evil to have taken place. And guys, if you'll hit the thumbs up button, I would greatly appreciate it.
And to continue, here is something visually, which we've been talking about coverage earlier today, which I must tell you, we were really looking forward to. We saw a report earlier today that at Buckingham Palace in London, where Queen Elizabeth II lives when she is in London, the Coldstream Guards, who changed the guard, not the Coldstream Guards, but they
500 feet now. We just chopped 800 feet in like one sweep. That's another situation.
There's another plane coming, Don.
Staying for the building up, though? He's descending really quick, too, yeah. Well, that's 500 feet now. We just chopped.
Just an evil, evil day. And I think it's, I was just going over different parts.
And you see by the dawn's early
This is in New York.
light what so proudly we hailed.
Thought that was nice. Cam GG 343 and still counting. Hey, I see you. Yeah, you can just see the sadness, and you know, it always brings us back on what happened that day. Because I think we never forget, but we really remember it this day. Look at each one of those names. Each one of those people had a life. They had a husband, a wife, they had a mother, a father, a child. There they are. That is a lot of people that are gone. And it's not just the Twin Towers, obviously, it's the Pentagon, um, the flight that was taken down in a Pennsylvania field. First responders, firefighters, yes. And look how fast they were moving, and then Flight 93.
Canvas, two broken windows.
And the thing was, nobody ever thought, even with, that the Twin Towers would ever fall, even if it was on fire, if it was hit or anything, and they both collapsed. Did you guys ever see, this was the air traffic? Yes, this was a cool thing to see. The air traffic on September 11th. Can you, I mean, now watch. All the planes. Are landing. Yes, I've been to Ground Zero a couple times, Tabitha, and it is a place, the 9/11 Museum is a place where it feels, I mean, if you don't leave there crying, something is wrong, right? 1 second, guys. Okay, sorry about that. Do you guys remember this? I'll probably get a copyright claim, but oh well. Bette Midler.
The wind beneath my Thank you, New York City! Thank you, New York City! Thank you!
Just a very sad day. Just a very sad day. God, it just brings you back. But this is beautiful. I saw this earlier. I think tonight is supposed to be like a harvest moon or something. Who is there more Patreons in here? If there is, then I'll mod you right now. If anyone wants to come up, oh crap, you're welcome to come up and tell your story of where you were on September 11th. Um, USA, okay. Hello, Jess. Good to see you. Jenny Lou, you're a mod now. Okay. Okay. So one thing I do want to talk about. So with the wrench comes responsibility, and if anybody comes in who maybe not, may not be fans of me or Marissa or whatever, just give me 1 second, Amy, and I'll let you. That's okay. We don't need an echo chamber. I don't need an echo chamber. I am perfectly fine with legit criticism as long as it's not hate filled, I have no problem with that. However, if you're just being hateful, give them a warning, and if they don't quit, then block them. But the thing with a wrench is please follow the if on my channel or anyone's channel, just follow the rules of what that channel creator wants you to do. Like if you personally don't like them, but they haven't done anything, you can't block someone for a personal vendetta that you have against them. It's just all I'm saying. So, okay, now we're gonna let Miss Amy up. Hey, Amy.
Hi, hi. How you doing? I'll tell you where I was. I was pulling into my hospital job. I worked for a public New York City hospital in the Bronx, and it was weird. I just didn't have the music on. I remember hearing, "Oh, this looks like a movie," and blah blah blah. And I was just because I was listening to music. I wasn't really listening to a news station. So all I remember was that we were sitting there, all stunned, and I walked in. I was an intake planner for the New York City Health and Hospitals Corporation. I set up home care services through their city home care, and I just remember all the doctors in the rooms watching the TV. The hospital went on, one of those codes, and everybody was waiting for patients that never arrived to the hospital, and there was actually a mother who had just given birth there, and I think her husband was in the building, and it was very traumatic. And everybody just sat around, did nothing. They didn't expect us to do any work that day. We tried to get whoever out of the hospital to make, it clear for other patients who might have needed any kind of services. But fortunately or unfortunately, no one came in. I remember going home, driving home to, it was like I lived in the Bronx, but I lived along the Hudson River. And what happened was the smell was drifting. You can smell the burning of the buildings because the breeze drifted the fumes up the river to the other boroughs of the
Sure.
city, and you could smell It was like a weird smell, and like 2 months before I went to see the let me find this if I could even find it. I went to the I went to the Twin Towers just to look and see what was going on. And let me just find this. I have a card I want to show you that I picked up if I could even find it now, because I went there and I wanted to go up and look at the Windows of the World's restaurant, and I could not find, I couldn't, they didn't let you in. You had to have a reservation to go and look at it. And now I can't find the card. I wanted to save this. I saved a card, but all I can say is that I did get to visit Ground Zero. I was unfortunately dating someone who was a federal agent,
Hmm.
and he was able to get me access. But now I'm like a kick myself because I don't know what I was breathing in that day that I went in, because we're so aware of the fumes and people that had health
And
issues. Yes, and the
cancers
day
and
right, and then when I came in, I was going home from my job, I just saw people walking up the hill, like to where my apartment area was, and the people that didn't have cars have just gotten off a transit bus, and they were so zombified. And this is what I got the day. Um, I got this card. Can you see it?
yeah,
Oh,
opposite. Yeah,
it's,
here you go.
this is what I picked up. I got this card, Windows of the World restaurant, the day, 2 months before the attack. I'll never throw this out. I just
Oh
keep it.
wow.
I never throw this out. But it was the city was very somber that day. And I just remember just people were not the same. They were not very happy. Looked depressed. Just no, you didn't see people smiling. And
Hmm.
and unfortunately, with the world of hate, I was blamed for 9/11 because certain people in the hospital were scapegoating people of my faith because I'm
Oh,
Jewish. Because I'm
yeah,
Jewish, so I was very upset, and I said, this is not right. You can't turn this on people. I am not responsible for this. So
yeah,
I just this we can't be hateful towards each other. You can't blame people. You have to blame governments. You
yeah. You
that
can't
I
blame
right
religion or anything
right
like that.
like I don't blame Germans for what happened. It's like I blame a government. I blame a regime. So we have to not turn this into something of hate, and
Yes,
that we have to be aware of what's going on, regardless if people think it's an inside job or not. But we,
right.
we have to just be aware now of our surroundings, how to get out of buildings. And what I've learned is that never listen to people's directions. If you feel like you're in danger, get out of the building. Because
Absolutely.
I remember, I'll just tell you, can I tell you another story?
Please.
I was with my husband. We were at a conference in Houston, and 2007 April. I don't know if you're aware, there was a shooting in NASA. Remember that shooting in the NASA Space Museum in April of 2007? Disgruntled ex-employee. There was a crazy situation. If you look, you'd find it if you Google it. And I remember we went around the museum, and what happened was you can go on a tour in the outside grounds. And after we were done in the museum, these security guards were acting awfully strange, and they were saying, "Oh, Ellis Loco in La Cabeza," and I was saying, I said, "Well," and then I went up to them and says, "Can we go out?" And they said, "No, we can't. There's something going on." I said, "That was after I heard Ellis Loco in the Cabeza, and that means someone's crazy, in the head." And I was like, I said to my husband, I said, "Something's weird going on here, and like they're acting awfully weird. They're quiet, and they're not letting anybody out." And so I said, I think I have to leave. And that was a point where I heard a bang, and then we walked out, and we got in the car, and I heard that there was a hostage situation in the place, and he was holding someone hostage, and he killed them or something like that. So from that point on, what I say,
Wow.
follow your gut, get out of a situation. If you feel like you're in unsafe, I
You have
really don't
instincts
think
for a
of,
reason.
right. Don't listen to security's instructions, because they'll never care about you. They're
Yes.
just
Nobody
following
cares about your
orders.
life like you do.
Right. And like, it's like with your kids, if you don't feel comfortable, get out of the situation. But that's all I have to say.
Now, where
All
was
right.
that at?
At Houston, it was April of 2007. You look it up.
Wow.
It was April of 2007. If you look up the NASA shooting, April 2007, something like that, at the
But
museum.
Amy, now it's all of these school pew pews. You know
Well,
what I mean? It's
I let me tell you, I worked at the school. I'm switching. I'm not going to do. I'm changing a little path right now with my nursing thing. I'm not going back, but all I say is protect our kids, like protect the government, the governors, the politicians. Their
bingo.
life was not chopped liver, and that you don't want them to be caught up in a situation because the drills don't do anything, because then they can go through a door, they can do anything. Someone needs to be protecting these kids. Our kids are not chopped liver. Their life is no less of worth than the president's children or anybody else's children.
Exactly.
That's what I
Exactly.
say. So that's it. I don't know. I'll let someone else go on. Have a good day now.
Thank you, Miss Amy.
Bye.
I always
Be
appreciate you.
well. Be well. Bye bye.
You too. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Yeah, I mean, she's right. There was when 9/11 happened, it felt like a lot of people finally came together, even the politicians and all of that. But then after a while, there was a lot of blaming being pushed up on certain faiths, and it's never okay that that happens. It's not any religion's fault that these humans did this, because people of faith, it doesn't matter what faith you are, you're supposed to respect your fellow man, and you're supposed to respect other religions, um, particularly the three Abrahamic faiths, which is Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Those are the three faiths that you're supposed to respect other people and respect others' beliefs. So yes, guys. I do have a new Patreon. We are having a lot of fun over there. If you guys decide to join, just click that link. I would be greatly appreciative. Bernadette, you're exactly right. It has gotten worse now, unfortunately. Um, I think when 9/11 happened, I feel like that's when everything started going downhill. You know what I mean? Like the 90s were freaking amazing, the 80s were great. And then 9/11 happened and it changed everything. It changed everything. Yes, it is radicals within religion, organizations, that kind of thing. Um, there is so much division now, and division is what separates us. It's, oh, well, you're not within this class of people, so your life isn't as valuable. Or, just like Amy was talking about, and that's never okay. Um, we don't choose who we are born into. We don't really even, we are born usually into a faith. Um, and, I mean, some people convert, but we usually stick to the faith that we are born into, even. Some people do, some people don't, but you don't pick who your mother is, who your father is, what country you're born into. I mean, I feel so fortunate, so blessed to be born in America. Now, other people of other countries, they probably feel fortunate that they were born into whatever country they were born into. But division and hate will never, ever fix anything. It only divides us and makes more radical people. And that's never okay. Just never okay. How do you become a member on this channel? Well, I am not monetized on this channel yet. Um, I have all my hours, I have all my subs, but YouTube's like, you did that too quick. So they want me to make a few more videos, I guess. So after, I guess, a few more videos and stuff, I'll be okay. Yeah. But hopefully we will, you know, at one point or another, the blaming and the hate has to stop. Um, and the madness, you wonder, why are these particularly young men going into these schools, going into these churches, synagogues, mosque, um, stores, theaters, all of these places, why are they going into these places and just mowing down people that they don't know? And it really has to do with either mental illness or hate or a combination of both. Yeah, Aaron, I love that song Garth Brooks sings. And it's getting worse and worse, you know. I mean, what's causing this? Tara, you're fine. Oh, yes, credibly, I'll mod you now. It's a problem. If anybody else has a Patreon, just let me know and I'll do it now. Just write Patreon by your name. Let me fix it. Where is credibly? Okay, pork, I got you. Where's credibly? I don't see credibly. Oh, did someone just have a new grandbaby? Who had a new grandbaby? Cam, did you have a new grandbaby? Where's credibly? I can't see. I don't see her. Joy. I don't know. Sometimes I like. I've been thinking a lot lately. I'm like, maybe I'm ready for a third, because my boys are growing up, and it's it's bittersweet, but they're not really babies anymore. And I want a little girl. I want a little girl so bad too. Thank you, Anne. Happy birthday, Erica. That's true, Robin. Yeah, yeah. I mean, this time we will probably adopt if we have any more. I know I really do miss the baby stage. Hey, Michelle, the bell. Hey, Luke. Yeah, we'll probably adopt this time. I mean, like, I do temporary fostering, which it's more like emergency fostering. It's where children or a child is removed from the home very quickly, and you know they'll come to my house for maybe a day or two, and then they're off to their more permanent foster home. But it's very hard for me to keep a kid here for months at a time, and you get so close to them, and then the boys get so close to them, and then they're gone. And I've done it twice where we thought we was going to be able to, adopt, and it didn't turn out, and it rips your heart out. Um, One time was before my boys were born, and then the next time, I think the boys were about 4 years old. So now they're 9. And it's just a really screwed up system, to be honest with you. It's now they're wanting, like, foster parents to teach the parents that got their kids taken away from how to parent. And I'm like, no. So that's why I only do the emergency thing, because I'm not getting involved with all of the BS of, now, like, when like, if it's a boy, yeah, I have twins. Now, if it's like a boy or a girl, they want a haircut. You can't just go give them a haircut. You literally have to ask. You have to call, and then the worker has to call the parents, the bio parents, and get the okay. I'm like, didn't you guys just take this child away because they weren't making the right decisions, and they get a say in whether the child gets a haircut or not? Oh my God, it burns me up. They wonder why the freaking thing is messed up. So yeah, you can't even give the child a haircut unless the bio parents have a say in it. It's ridiculous. It's freaking ridiculous. So, um, one of my very best friends, she's a CPS worker, and she knows it's ridiculous. And she tells me every single week how ridiculous it is. Yes, yes, these are people that have gotten their children taken away 2, 3, 4 times. And, once the child, gets a really good foster home and finds somebody that would potentially adopt the children, and they get the children stabilized as decent human beings, they rip them right out from the homes, and they take them back with the parents that may or may not have gotten clean. Sometimes I'll just be quiet on that. I can't say. But, and that 6 months later, they're going to be right back in the system. I mean, this is something I'm very passionate about, because this is like the next generation. These are the people that, a lot of these kids, of course, they grow up angry, and they are the ones that never had any stability. Um, what is the God? I can't think of his name right now. His trial is going on right now. He was a pew pew. Oh, that's good, Michelle. So you can relate. Oh, God. Yeah, the system is very corrupt. What is the oh, God? What is the the person that I can't say the S word, and his trial's going on right now. God, no, we don't need conspiracies about this. We're not here to talk about conspiracies. We are here to yeah. No, not Alex Jones. It's he was a kid. He was a kid, and I just watched his damn. He was like a like a school Parkland. Yes, Nicholas Cruz. Thank you. So Nicholas Cruz, this kid, like his mom died. And it wasn't. I don't even think it was his biological mom. And if you watch the interrogation, his brother comes in, and it's not his actual biological brother, but his brother hugs him and said, you were just lost, dude, and everything. And like Nicholas Cruz like starts crying and stuff. And I just think like he was the kid is evil, just as evil as they come. But I wonder if it with him, is it nature, or is it nurture, or is it both? Because he had absolutely no one at all, and the only thing he had that made him feel like he had any control over his life was pew pews. You go back and you look at just some of the things that he did. He is literally like, he even after, hold on, let me see if I can show you. Even after he got caught and everything, he attacked um, one of the guards in the jail. Guys, I do want to show you this too, which is what I'm going to be talking on hopefully later this evening. it's a case that is starting to get a lot of attention. Marissa has kind of talked on it. She hasn't really said anything about it, but here it is. This is the woman that literally was beheaded on a California street in front of her two kids. Why was Robin deleted? Guys, don't be deleting comments, please. I don't, I don't need an echo chamber. It's okay if they can disagree. Oh, it was a yeah, sometimes it is a mistake. Sometimes it's a pocket thing too, especially if you're on your phone. It's really, really crazy. But this, oh my God. So I did the reason I actually started my first YouTube channel was because of a little girl named Angel Overstreet. She's a little girl in West Virginia, Kentucky border, 3 months old, went missing. She's never been found. It's a long, long story. But the man who CPS gave them to was actually not her biological father, because it's a whole another story. But his name is Shannon, and he literally held a woman out on the street and carved or burnt, I can't remember, carved his initials in her. And he reminds me, it kind of reminds me of this story because, but except this is actually a lot worse than what Shannon did. Both are horrible, but this guy beheaded this woman on outside in front of his kids. Son of a bitch. I've been muted and I was reading that whole fucking thing. Jesus to goodness. Perfect. So, fuck. Oh, God. Here. Listen to this. It's poor. Did not hear one thing. Yeah. I was like, he was like, oh. Okay. But this, I'm going to be doing this case. And so what happened was this guy and this girl that we're talking about here, she report like she had a restraining order against the guy, but she kept seeing him, and the parents of her parents kept trying to, say, stay away from him. He's violent. He's a bad person, and she didn't. And so the so what happens was Karina's she told, I think his name's Rafa or something, that he was that she was going to say that he had been sleeping around with another man, and apparently that may have actually been true, but it embarrassed him, so he came back to her house, and she was outside or something, or in the car, and he opens up his trunk and he beheads her. Beheads her. And trigger warning, trigger warning, because this is some crazy stuff. Her head hits the ground and goes under the car. And he leaves, he runs. And then someone calls the police. And then he comes back to the murder scene, and the police are there, or he's there when, and the police arrest him. And she has a 1-year-old with this guy, and reported that Karina's ex-boyfriend and the father of her 1-year-old daughter. Karina was granted a restraining order against him in April, but still saw him. See, that's the thing. Like, if you get that restraining order, don't see them, please. The child is left without a mother, without a father, without anyone. It's just terrible. Yeah. Decapitated her with a sword, yeah. And I mean, he would. Yes, you have to be clear. Exactly. If you have a restraining order against someone and it was granted, then obviously there was grounds for them to grant that restraining order, right? So don't see them, please. And to be honest with you, a restraining order is only a piece of paper, right? And a person can walk through that restraining order at any time. But then if you are still seeing them with the restraining order, first of all, you're both in violation. And second of all, he's not going to take that restraining order seriously if she doesn't take it seriously. I mean, it's obviously too late now. Yeah, I would say it's premeditated too, because exactly, swords aren't just laying around everywhere. Yes, and a restraining order works both ways. And for those of you that knows the Summer Wells case with Jody Sue and everything, Jody Sue and Andy, one Jody Sue thinks it's just one way, but that's a whole nother story. Exactly. But it's a very big story right now. And I'm also going to be talking on a couple other cases as well. And I mean, I'm sure that the grandparents will take these children, but they just saw their mother literally. Well, I mean, one of the children is only 1 year old, so it's, thank God the child won't remember. Yeah, I mean, everyone has mental health issues at some point or another in their life. Um, the like some sort of stress or whatever, but I don't know how the other kid was, to be honest with you. Let me see here. She was only 27 years old. Okay, the one child was 7 and the other child was 1. And she was a student, okay, and she earned her GED, and she was working as a DoorDash driver. And his name is, they call him but he goes by Rafa. And he was diagnosed schizophrenic on meds. But obviously, if you're drinking, yes, yes, it was. From what I understand, she was parked outside of her home. Yes, yes. I mean, these things are happening nearly every day, and it's just not getting any better. Just not. And as long as there's drugs involved, as an epidemic as it is, it's just not going to get better. Do I believe in the death penalty? I do believe in the death penalty. Yes. Yes, I do. I think, in my opinion, I believe in the death penalty as long as it is an ironclad case that there's no ifs, ands, or buts that this person did it. And they're stopping it in a lot of states right now because they can't get the drugs that they need. And I'm like, listen, if these people, ended up killing, these monsters ended up killing kids and stuff, I don't care how they go, to be honest with you, as long as we know they 100% did it. I don't care if it's by, um, injection, electric chair, whatever. They're like, oh, it's not humane. They won't fall peacefully asleep. I'm like, they're victims. Look at the way they did their victims. Do you think it was peaceful for them? It wasn't peaceful for their victims, so why does it have to be peaceful for them? Yeah, they claimed it was cruel. Well, you know what else is cruel? Doing this to children, to innocent women. Yes, well, our state does not have the death penalty. Personally, I would rather them be sentenced to death rather than us paying taxes on these wasted of people, waste of air, in my opinion, for the people on death row. There's some people on death row that's absolutely, that they've proved is innocent. But the ones that are like, it's an ironclad no brainer, why should we be paying taxes on them to keep them they're not benefiting the world whatsoever, right? They're not, they're just waiting on their death. As far as, if there's no death penalty, as for they're just waiting on their natural death and we're just paying for it. Like, and this is the thing a lot of people don't know as well. There is a lot of private prisons. A lot of private prisons. Now, these people are profiting off prisoners, which the United States, we have more people incarcerated than any other country on the planet. And a lot of it's just, in my opinion, there's a lot of people that is in prisons for really stupid stuff. Like, in the 80s, they was charged 30 years for marijuana or something like that. They shouldn't be in prison. If it's a non-violent crime and they didn't hurt another person, they shouldn't be in it for years, in my opinion. And this is the thing that I've also wondered about. Like, these people that have went to jail for weed for years and years and years and years and years, and now the states that legalize it, or non-criminalizing it, Well, what happens to those people that are in jail? Like, why should they be in jail? Now they're going to say, this is what they're going to say. They're going to say, well, it wasn't legal at the time. To me, it's still BS. Yes, prison is money, and it's kind of like a modern day slavery, in my opinion. Nobody should make profit off of a prisoner. Um, I mean, people that, like dealers that sell, weed and other drugs and stuff like that, in my opinion, they shouldn't go to jail for 30 years. I mean, you didn't kill, I mean, maybe you indirectly did, but um, to me, it's just ridiculous. Like non-violent crimes, there's way too many people in prison. There's just way too many people. They are sitting in the jail for having exactly. Way back, if you stole something, you were branded. In other words, don't steal. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, nobody should be. Listen, like I don't smoke weed or anything like that. I've tried it twice in my entire life and it wasn't my thing. It gives me anxiety. But it should not be criminalized, in my opinion. And now that the government can finally start making money off of it, they're going to decriminalize it because it's big business. Now, fentanyl and stuff, like that's a different story. Fentanyl, you got to be kind of hard on that. But I don't know. I think that they should put the prisoners to work, really. There's a lot of stuff that needs done. And alcohol is worse. I mean, there's more. I mean, you don't. I was hit by a drunk driver, and they were drunk, right? So that is completely legal, and it kills and injures so many people every single year. But also, another thing that injures people every single year with the car is a cell phone, people texting and driving. So, do you ban cell phones too? No, you can't. Oh, I'm so sorry. Hit and run. He was like Vaughn for weeks. Wow. The Vaughn case is the Dre McRae and all that. That case is absolutely insanity. Um, it's been made even more crazy by a few select few of people. And Letitia wrote something on her Facebook last night. Hold on, let me see here. Let me show you this, guys. This, you can tell, comes from a mother. Imagine. Imagine you want to get away but can't. Imagine being stuck in a marriage you want to leave but you have a child. Imagine you decide the only way out is to end it all. Imagine being in a hospital for months and the only person that's over you is the one you tried to get away from. Imagine they release you to go home and the person that's over your care is the person you tried to get away from. Imagine the person says you're too much to take care of, so you end up in a nursing home. Imagine you have family that wants to care for you, but the person you tried to get away from says no. Imagine, imagine, imagine you just can't get away. Now that's hard. Very difficult. God bless Miss Letitia. I mean, second born, first son. Open your eyes, Vaughn. Yeah, they look alike. I have no idea if he's home. Um, I have no idea if he's home. It would it wouldn't surprise me, but we'll just it's just hard to say. It's just hard to say. Yes, Maggie. Marissa read that last night. Hey, Snosberry. Hold on, let me get you. Can you tell us what the news was on private last night? What do you mean the news? I don't know what you mean the news. Angie, I will check that email. I've got a lot of emails. Melissa joined Patreon. Yay! Thank you, Melissa. Hey, Gigi. Um, so yeah, but anyway, I have to get ready for my upcoming live for this evening. It's almost 4 o'clock here on the East Coast. It'll probably be about 7 o'clock that I will be going live on my second channel. If you guys um, haven't been modded or anything, uh, just either message me in Patreon, email me, or tell ICU, and we'll get you modded. I will have to get you modded on the second channel as well. So that one, there's a lot more people, obviously, in that on that channel. So we may have to take down names. It's really, you can't really stop on that channel because there's that so many people. So anyway, but I will see you guys in Patreon and before then, and then I will see you on the other channel in just a little bit. When I was in Emerging Conscious, medics asked him to come. Oh, yes, and guys, let me tell you guys something too. There was a lot of people, a lot of good people on a block list, and I deleted pretty much everyone that was on the block list because someone was blocking people that they know that shouldn't have been blocked. So if you were happen to not be modded on the second channel and you was before, don't fret, don't panic. We will mod you, promise. Um, there was just some people blocked and I kind of got confused. So, but we will get you modded. Don't worry, don't fret. Okay. I love you all. I appreciate you being here. God bless all the ones who passed in the 9/11 tragedy. We will certainly never forget. Good. I'll talk to you guys later.